All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about some information that came out through some leaked audio from a phone conversation between Errol Spence Jr. and somebody else over the Terence Crawford negotiations. And the information that came out of that makes, once again, call me biased or not, makes Terence Crawford look like he is the reason that this bout is not taking place. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division talking about the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford negotiations that fell apart. More information has come out of the mouth of Errol Spence Jr. in some audio that was leaked. It's all over the internet right now, so if you listen to this channel, you should be able to find that. I typically do not use other people's intellectual property and put it on my channel. Also, the audio for this is really scratchy and bad, so I'm just going to tell you what he said and then discuss it, but pretty much it goes along with what I said in the videos where I talked about his demands to get for approval over expenses and transparency and the like. Now, before I get into that though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. It really does mean a lot. So let's break this down. Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford were in a negotiation for the undisputed 147-pound title. The negotiation went on and on for months. And at the end of it, Terence Crawford walks away and goes to fight a guy named David Avancian on another network. Now, information has come out through this audio that is very, I mean, looks bad from somebody that has been through a good number of negotiations during my professional life. It makes Terence Crawford look like he is one of the major hurdles to that fight not taking place, if not the major hurdle in that fight taking place, because of some things that Errol Spence Jr. said that may not be that obvious to people that have not done that. Now, specifically what he said was that Terence Crawford did not trust his lawyer and wanted to negotiate himself directly with Al Haymon. Also, according to Errol Spence, Terence Crawford was asking Al Haymon questions that he never asked of Bob Arum. Now, put that along with what Bob Arum said, not 2 days before this came out, or the day before this came out, and said that the reason he believed that this negotiation fell through is because Terence Crawford did not have a promoter at the table with him, and that he was engaging in a conversation and trying to negotiate when he really was not qualified to do so. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. There's a saying when somebody goes to jail, right, or somebody gets arrested, the person that represents themselves has a fool for a client. And why is that? Because an individual person does not have necessarily, if you're not an attorney, have the background in order to know the ins and outs of the conversation. It's hard for you to separate what you want. You get your emotions built into it. All kind of different things go, but it points to you needing good representation. And it is a very bad sign where if Terence Crawford has somebody that he assigns to negotiate with it for him, and Bob Arum, and they go and they speak to Al Haymon and they come up with an understanding with Al Haymon. And then that person goes back to the Bud Crawford, and Bud turns around and says, I don't believe what you're saying. I don't know what that means. No, let me talk to him directly. The job of the attorney is to help you understand what they're agreeing to and why you should take it, and phrasing it in ways that protect you, where if you phrase it ways that, or you're asking for things that you may not need, or you may ask for things that actually hinder you in your goal. That's why you listen to your advisors. Otherwise, everybody would just go out there and negotiate contracts for themselves. That type of stuff really backfires. Now, and what I said before is one example of this. And when I heard Mike Coppinger say this, I thought to myself, man, what is this guy talking about? Why do you need that? When he says we need approval of expenses, right? If you're going to pay me a percentage of the pay-per-view, and by the way, the numbers that are coming out for what that was offered is wildly different than what was out there, people were out there reporting. But why would you need that? You don't need approval of expenses. You need to either get paid out of the gross, or you need to get paid, or you need to get some preset agreed to percentage of cost associated with it when you get the net. Those things are not difficult. That's not difficult to work out. Also, the requirements for transparency. I'm sure his attorney told him we don't need that because it is unique, because you get that by law. You get that as a result of the Ali Act, because the Ali Act specifies that fighters be able to get the exact type of information that you're asking for, right? So what is the effect of doing that? It takes the negotiation much longer, because you are winding up arguing and talking about points that aren't really in an issue at all. You have a meeting with your attorney, right? You have a meeting with your attorney. The attorney meets with Al Heyman, then they come up with an agreement, then the attorney goes back to you, and then you say, no, I don't want to talk to, no, I don't believe it. Let me talk to Al directly. Then you got to go back to Al Heyman to talk to Al Heyman. And then after you guys talk, your attorney has to be there. Then they have to document what he said. Then he goes back to you. All of that type of stuff is going to do what? Add a ton of time, add a ton of energy to that situation, right? Which will do what? Make the negotiation go longer and longer and longer and longer, because you don't trust your own representation. And if you don't trust your own representation, why are you hiring your own representation? I mean, why do you hire that particular person? Go hire somebody else that you can trust to go do that. That is just somebody, just like Bob Arum said, that's somebody that has not been experienced in those type of deals anymore. And since Terence Crawford's never been involved in those type of deals before, he doesn't know how to negotiate them. So if you specifically sit there at the table, it's going to take you a lot longer than it would like somebody like Bob Arum, who already knows what the cost should be, who already knows what the laws are related to transparency, already knows the things to ask for and put into the agreement that'll get him what he wants because of his level of experience, right? And then Terence Crawford is Errol Spence Jr. saying Bud Crawford is asking Al Heyman for things he never asked Bob Arum for, right? And why would that be? Probably because all he's getting is a guarantee and he doesn't care. He just wants his check up front. Anytime you're talking about splitting between this guy and that guy, it seems like he might even be caring, well, does this guy get more money than I'm getting? And I want to make sure that, it just seems like a bunch of nonsense, man, the way that Errol Spence Jr. explained it. Now, I'm sure there are people jump out there will point out to the fact that, well, Errol said he thought the fight was going to happen in January. Yeah, the difference between January and December, what's the big deal? But on top of that, how do you know it didn't get stretched out that long and have to go that long because of these negotiation tactics by Terence Crawford? Dude, seriously, unless you are a really big Bud fan, Terence Crawford looks like he is definitely a major stumbling block to this fight happening. And again, it just makes me wonder whether or not this guy ever really wanted to fight, because the questions that surround BLK Prime are significantly bigger than the questions that are coming up about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Because if you look at the reports coming out about that organization, it looks real suspect. But he came with an agreement with them real quick. I wonder why. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.